Hi, this is Mike from Kraftyhands. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to make this 8x8 vintage bus card. Perfect for men's birthdays. It's just so vintage that it's just great. I love this card. And we have done this card in a lot of classes over the past year. But this is the first time that it's been available for anybody to produce at home. So I'm going to start and get going with it because there's a lot to do and there's a lot of things that you can do on this. So let's just go ahead and get started. So as I say, we're starting off with a basic 8x8 card blank. Now this is cut from an A3 sheet of card and it's done at well, straightforward 8 inches by 8 inches, so 16 by 8 and folded in the middle. Millimetre wise it's 200 by 200, so quite simple to construct. And I've used a dark colour as the base one for this card because I think on a white card it doesn't look half as good, so a dark base for this. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and pre-cut out all the elements from this kit, and so I've got everything ready, so let's go ahead and just start constructing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do before I even put this down is I'm going to attach a piece of ribbon. Now you can put whatever coloured ribbon you want on this one. Now you can put red ribbon, you can put black ribbon, you can put brown ribbon, it's entirely up to you. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay a little bit of tape runner right the way across the middle of the card along where the join is between the two images. But I'm going to leave just a little bit of a gap so that when I thread under my faux knot there, it's not quite stuck down, so I can just slide that underneath. And then I'm going to lay the ribbon over the top, covering the join between those two pieces of backing paper. Now there should be that gap underneath, there we go, where can you see? So that's not quite stuck down perfectly, which is great. So I think I'm just going to turn it over and add some tape runner to the back just to tuck and hide those pieces away. Excellent. Okay, so that's now ready to go on the front of our card. So we'll just put that on. So again, for the purposes of the video, I'm using a tape runner, but you might want to use wet glue, which is a bit more permanent, a bit more durable. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so the next step is to add in our newspapery piece. Now on this one, it is already kind of uneven on the edges, but when you cut it out you might not get it as even as you ought. You might get it a bit more straight. So I'm just going to use my scruffer just to give it a little bit more of a rough edge. I'm not going to go too mad because you can actually eat into the paper quite a lot on this one. And you can use the edge of a pair of scissors. You don't need to go out and buy one of these. Using the edge of a pair of scissors works just as well. Okay, so as you can see, try and zoom in on that a bit, so it does give you a bit more of a rough edge. Not quite as even and as straight. It doesn't matter if you get this a little bit creased up, because you know it's supposed to look old, it's supposed to look aged. There you go. Just to make it a little bit darker, I'm going to take one of my finger daubers and I'm just going to go now over the edge just to give it that bit of aged and weathered where I've exposed the clean colour of the cardstock underneath, or the paper underneath, depending on what thickness you've printed this onto. Doesn't take long. There we go. So that's going to go in there, like that. But not on foam pads, it's just going to get stuck straight down. About there. Now at this point I'm going to add that other piece of ribbon because I don't want to forget about it. So that's where it goes there. So I'm just going to slide that underneath so I can see it, and then all I'm going to do is just tie it in a knot. So we've got a faux knot on the front. Perfect, and then I can just trim that off. Yeah, I think I'll do it that way. There we go. That looks cute. Okay, so next step. I'm going to layer the bus over there at an angle. So that's the base layer. Now again, on this you can distress the edges if you want to. You can go around with your sponge dauber to make it look a bit old. But this layer I'm not going to, no, I am going to raise on foam pads. So I'm going to start the dimension straight away so I can find some larger pads to use. Or what Ian likes to call telly pads, because they're quick and easy. Not quite telly pads, but there you go. I think I may have used them all up on previous videos. Okay, so I'll just whip those off. Okay, so the bus is going to go on about there. So we'll just drop that down. I have put one in the middle for stability. There you go. Okay, and we'll start building up our decoupage layers now. So the next one to go on is going to be this one. Now again, with these, I've coloured the edges on all of them, apart from this one, just to show you. And really, let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. You can be able to see the edge of the card a bit better. There you go. Now you can see that it's still white. Now when that goes down, you are going to still be able to see it on the card because it's a coloured background. So I think it just needs toning in. So all I've done is I've taken another finger dauber with a red ink pad. Okay, you could use any red ink, or you could even use a red alcohol pen, Pro Macroscopic, Spectrum Noir, whatever, and just go over the edges. And I just think it helps to tone out those white edges. Now, you know, you just utilise whatever colours in the actual topper itself. So this is a red London bus, so I'm going around with a red one. But at the bottom, where it's all black, I don't want to use a black ink pad, and I don't want to use brown on there. So what I've done is I've actually gone in with one of my alcohol pens, and I've actually used the edge of the alcohol pen. Now you can see that it's all around the edges where it's soaked through. but it does hide, you know, those raw white edges. And I find that's really quick and easy way to do it. So again, I've done the back of that one. I've gone around the red on there. I haven't done that bit because I don't think it actually doesn't show through. You might as well do it right. Yeah, that's better. So that's all the bits, all the edges now done, I think. Just go back over that bit. I'm not quite happy. And that one more time. And to make it easy, you could use a chisel tip end, but as long as it's covered, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's with the faff in. Okay, let's just zoom back out again. Ooh, wrong way. There we go. Right. There we go. So that layer's down. I'm now going to add decoupage bits of the layers to this one. I'm not going to go mad because you don't really need to. 4 corners, one in the middle. It's what I like to call the support points. Okay, so that's all I'm going to really need. So off with those. So line that up with bits on the front. That's the wheel, and then just drop that on over the top. There we go. And the next layer. So again, try and put your foam pads in the same places because they will then connect to the ones underneath, which gives it that little bit more stability. Obviously I can't do that in the middle here because I've just cut that big hole out. But I think all I need to do for this is I'm just going to place one in the middle there just so that it stops it from sinking. And that should do us, I think. Okay, and once again, line your elements up at the bottom and then just layer over the top. There you go. One 3D bus. And you can't see the edges where we've gone round and hid all the bits. Okay, so next then our faux photo corners or scrapbook bits. I'm going to put one across there and another one across the bottom corner. My tape runners run out again. Go through tape runners like I don't know what. Because I'm not the only one. And then just makes it look a little bit more like a scrapbook. So let me put that one in the corner there. You don't have to add these on. These are just additional embellishment bits that we provide, which are there purely for your choice. You don't have to use them. Nobody's going to come round to your house and tell you off if you don't. Okay, just clear that mess away. Then we can get started on the final bit. Just Add a rub, clear up any excess glue. Okay, so we're ready now to start putting on the last bits of the embellishments. Now I've got some of the tickets that were provided with the kit here. I'm not going to put all of them on, I'm just going to put a couple on. So we've got Birthday Bus and we've got Make-A-Wish. So I'm going to add those. I'm not going to use those other ones. So now, this is entirely up to you the way you want to do this. Now I'm going to put a foam pad on the left hand side of this. I'm not going to put it in the middle. Now the reason why I'm putting it on the back there is I'm also going to put a little bit of tape on there, so that when I tuck that in I can stick it. Then it's going to be up at that end, so it's going to give it a little bit more of a 3D dimension, a bit more movement if you like. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So again, only on the one side, tuck that under, add a little bit of glue, and then tuck that one under like so. Perfect. Okay, so for the last part we're going to add the happy birthday lettered tiles at the bottom. Okay, so now on this one they're kind of straight but not, so they're kind of being placed on a bit haphazard but not, you know, perfectly straight. And I don't think they need to go on perfectly straight, so all you need to make sure is that you're literally just getting them in the right order. So, and you've got some sort of spacing between them all. So what I find easiest to do is to lay them all out on top of the card first, so I've got a relative spacing. So if I want to move that one over there, I can decide whereabouts I want to put them. If I think there's too much of a gap between them, which I think there is, there, I'll just move them across. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take one by one and just whip off the foam pad back in and place it back down again. So like that. But I'm not going to put them back down so accurately that they're not I'm not putting them down straight, bang straight, because I like the higgledy-piggledy kind of effect. And of course it covers up a multitude of sins if you have a little bit of a handshake, or you haven't necessarily got that perfect dexterity that you used to have. So there's my first bit. Okay, and then I'm going to do exactly the same thing again with the word birthday, but it also helps to make sure that I've got the right spelling. I've not missed a letter out anywhere. I've not got them the wrong way around, which so often happens. Yeah, so we can space that right the way across the front of the card, making sure we've got kind of equal distances in between. Now I'm okay with that. I like that. So I will just go ahead now and put the letters on, but again, not necessarily making sure that they're all exactly lined up. It doesn't offend my sensibilities if they're not. I know, and I'm a Virgo, but I'm not that tidy. done. Just 2 more. And that's it. Done. Okay, so finishing touches to it. Again, you can go mad with the glossy accents on the glass if you want to. You can have gems in there. You can have little charms. You can pretty much go to town as much as you want on this one. It is quite an effective card, and I think anybody would be really pleased to receive this card. It's just such a stonker. I love it. I love it to bits. And I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you'll join us again real soon. Thanks for watching.